Oh my gosh, it is so fun. That's the leap of faith. This is the serpent slide where you go through the sharks. And what I'm realizing about myself is that I have unrealistic fears of things. Really? And then I do them and then I love them so much. Like, I was like, oh, I don't like slides with tubes that are closed. I don't know where I got that from. I just made it up one day. But then I just did it and I loved it so much.
Valerie, Kyle Travel Channel.
We finally made it to Atlantis. We have been talking about going for years because we get a 3 free night stay with our Caesars Diamond perk. I'm going to go over all the different things with the casino because there's required play. I'm going to go through all of that. Let's go to Atlantis. We originally booked the Coral Tower and we got an email saying, hey, you've been upgraded to the Royal Tower. Awesome. Awesome. Really cool. So excited. The Royal Tower is where the casino was. That's where we were going to be anyway. But the mandatory resort fee was higher. So then that bumped up how much we were paying per day. And it was just another cost that kind of jumped out that wasn't there before. But when we walked up to the Royal Tower, the first thing I noticed were just the beautiful doors, the beautiful decor. Everything is beautiful. Everything is beachy. Everything is sea inspired. If there was one thing Atlantis got right, it is the look. To the tiniest details, everything was on point with the theme. Here is our room at the West Tower in the Royal Towers in Atlantis. So we have the bathroom right when you walk in. It's very simple, very clean. Shower. There is a separate toilet. And then as we go in the room, we have a really nice big bed. The decor is very beachy and sea inspired. TV directly across from the bed. We do have a door that connects to the next room, but there's no handle on the other side. So Kyle said that they can't get in, hopefully. And then we have a little table. We have some driftwood up here. Chair, Kyle's thinking chair.
Am I smart enough to work a door? Yep.
You are smart enough to work a door. All right, well, go out and relax on the balcony. Are you gonna lay down and relax, do you think? I can put 1 foot onto the balcony. So I guess that's all you really need. You can see the cruise ships, you can see everything from our balcony. Well, I'm gonna call it a balk because it's not really a full balcony. It's very tiny. Interesting. But so far the room is really pretty. Everything is just so pretty and beachy. And sea life and sea decor everywhere, which I love. So now let's go on a tour of Atlantis. See if we can find anything fun. So when we checked in, she gave us our complimentary water bottles. She said there are fill-up stations on every floor, and then you can get them filled up at the bars. So it's kind of nice that they have water available all the time, filtered water, so people shouldn't be getting thirsty. I always have a hard time finding water on some cruise ships, so going from the cruise to here, I'm so happy that we have these water bottles. So like I said, we stayed in the Royal Tower, so there's going to be 2 sections. We were in the Royal West. And the thing that looks like a bridge, we've heard this from a handful of people. That is not a bridge. They call that the Michael Jackson suite that costs $25,000 a night. We've heard that story from a handful of people now, so I didn't verify if it's true. I'm just going to go with it since that's the lore of the island. Right outside of the Royal Tower, you have these tanks. They have sharks. They have stingrays. There's a beautiful water feature with the flying fish. Everything is just so beautiful. And you can spend a day just walking around and trying to see everything they have out there. I'm going to talk about the Caesars perk now. That's the only reason that we went to Atlantis, was because we have Caesars Diamond. So if you look at the website, you can see the different months and the different options. If you get a comped stay or if you have to pay for the stay, what towers you can get. It's all on there. It's all spelled out. It's going to be based on whether it's busy season or not. You call the number, you provide your information, your Caesars number, you'll get a confirmation email. Make sure you scroll down to the terms and conditions so that you fully understand exactly what you are signing up for, because we knew that we had to pay a resort fee. We weren't worried about that. But then all these other little fees just kept adding up that we were kind of aware of, but it wasn't ideal. Those fees were the resort fee, which we were originally in the Coral, so we were planning on $60, and then it ended up being $71.50. Okay, another $10.50 a night. Okay, fine, it's a beautiful room. But then you have a $7 housekeeping gratuity per person per night. So then add $14 to that. So now we are at $85 a night. Okay, fine, it's a beautiful room. Okay, cool. I mean, that brought us into the mid 200s. We were planning on paying less than $200 for that. We're not so cheap that we were going to fight any of the fees. It's one thing when you know about the fee, and then it's another thing when you see it on your TV and you can see how much you're being charged. And we're like, housekeeping gratuity, we didn't even have anyone come in the whole time. With the Caesars Diamond Perk, everybody seems to have a different opinion on whether this could happen or not. It's spelled out in the terms and conditions. So certainly it could happen. Does it happen? I don't know. You're required to play for 4 hours, timed play during your visit. So 4 hours means like 4 hours of pressing the button, whether you fast tap or whether you slow tap, the machine has to be active while you are playing. We actually had the person at the casino desk explain to us exactly what the requirements were, because we wanted to make sure that we played enough, but we didn't want to overplay. So then we're wasting time on the resort when we could be going on the slides or doing something else or just exploring. So on top of the 4 hours of play, if you're a new member and you sign up for the first time, you can earn free play. So 75 points was $25 free play. You could earn up to 500, which is kind of nice because you're required to play anyway. So now you can get some free play on top of that. We were in the casino quite a bit. We're always in the casino quite a bit. By the end, and we had spent hours and hours and hours in the casino. By the end, Kyle had 5 hours and 22 minutes of rated play, timed play, where they considered the machine to be active and him to be pressing buttons. We read things where people said, oh, just go and play the minimum denomination you can find. There are some where you can find it. You're only playing 8 cents, 32 cents, and press it once every minute for 60 minutes and do it once each day. I would rather find a machine that I actually like playing because that sounds so boring. But if you're trying to spend as little as possible, sure, that is certainly maybe a way. I don't know if it works or not, because she said the machine has to be actively in use. So you can't just sit there and just have your card in. You have to be playing. I don't know. 5 hours and 22 minutes seems very, very low. We were there for 3 days. So we were in the casino every day, more than just an hour or two. I ended up getting 25 free play. He ended up getting 125 free play. So that was really great. Beware of the casino hours, because they close their service desk at 9 p.m. Weekday, weekend, whatever, 9 p.m. So we go, it's like 9:30. We leave the next morning. We're getting picked up at 10:30. They say, no, we're closed. You can just come back in the morning sometime. We think we're open at this time. They had to call around. It was a mess. We had to go first thing in the morning when we're trying just to get ready and make sure we have everything ready to go. Make sure you go if you have free play on the last night, because you can only use your free play once. That was the other stipulation. So if you earned 75 points and you cashed it in for $25, whatever other points you earn, you don't get extra free play. There's no more. So that's why she even recommended wait till the last day so you can get the maximum amount of free play. So if you're used to getting comped different things for playing a lot, spending a lot of time in the casino, she said they expect to see an additional 4 to 6 hours of play per day on top of the already required 4 hours. I don't know how possible it is to go and explore and enjoy the resort and then also spend 4 to 6 additional hours in the casino. We wanted to make sure that we wouldn't be charged for the stay for not completing the 4 hours. Once we heard about how the comps worked, we weren't even worried about those at all. There was no way that we were going to spend 4 to 6 additional hours because they pay attention to the time and the denom. So it is different. The casino is different in Atlantis. The first recommendation that I would say before you go is to familiarize yourself with the look of the towers, because that's really going to help you know where you're at. It is a massive property. Two of the towers that are very close together are going to be the Reef and the Cove. They have a very similar look. They're really, really beautiful beaches. You can snorkel around here. That's what we came over to do. The Coral is the only one that I kept seeing that I was like, well, that doesn't have the same look as the other ones, because like you saw the Royal Tower, that's the one we stayed at. Those are the connected ones. We have the other two you just saw, standalones, but right next to each other. This one, it just looks fine, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh, it's so beautiful, it matches the rest of the decor. But you do want to know where the Coral is because of the Predator tank. So that's where you can go inside that seashell building underneath and you can look at all the sharks. It's very cool right outside the Coral. The wristbands, these coveted wristbands. That is how you get into the water park. That's how you keep accessing everything. It was later in the day. I think it was after 4. The park closes at 7 for the water slides. And we were like, yeah, we're not going to go back out. So we took our wristbands off. And then I caught a second wind. I was like, yes, I do want to go. So then we go to get new wristbands and they said, oh, we already swiped your card. You can't have any more for today. That's it. There is no rule about replacing a wristband that fell off. You cannot have a new wristband. They said, do you still have them? Maybe you can put them back on, which we did. I had to like peel the stuff off and kind of tape it back on, but do not take your wristband off until the water park is closed and you are for sure done, because you are not getting a new one. They can call management all day. The system tells them you already got your wristbands for the day. No more. It is probably to stop people from bringing other people on who didn't pay. I get that. I don't know what would happen if someone did really lose it, or if they, have any sort of policy on any replacement, because they did not make it seem like that. So you can see the wristband here next to the sweet little kitty. Leave it on. You can take it off once the park is closed, and then the next morning you can go get a new one. The slides. As an adult, do I even care about slides? Turns out I do. Turns out I love them so much. I could not get enough. The Aztec Temple slide is by far my favorite. This one was called the Leap of Faith. So you go all the way to the top and you go straight down as fast as possible through the shark tank. You're in a tube, obviously. You can't see any of the sharks, but it was the best slide. I loved it so much. I went on it as many times as I could because there was no line. So I got to go on it quite a few times. Yeah, the slides are pretty awesome. All right, I'm nervous. Here we go. Oh God, he just went. We got our tubes. Okay. Here is where you can float through in a tube. There's sharks. See, there's people tubing through them. So I'll show you what it looks like inside. This is not a lazy river. It is partially lazy and then partially little rapids that they create. We kept going on this lazy river because it was so much fun. You definitely have to try that.
All right, here comes the wave.
All right, he said pull yourself up on the rail, but then we go on this little, oh, we're going up the conveyor belt now. All right, here's another one. I hit my butt on the ground. Woo! All right, signpost number 7. Number 7, if you get out here, then you can go on 2 of the slides that you need tubes for. If you keep going, you have like one more little stretch and then it's the exit. So make sure you get out, grab your tube, get in the slide. One thing to be prepared for the slides is stairs. You are going to keep going up a couple flights of stairs every time you want to do a slide. Okay, here's the line. We're doing the surge. We're up at the top of this thing. Ooh, there's some beach. That looks so pretty. The water looks really nice. Ah, there's more of the towers. The pool. There's the double slide. Oh, fun. All right, here's the surge. And you get on this little conveyor belt. And then when it's ready, they will just scoot you along. Wait for Kyle to come out. Oh my God. My butt.
Hey, he wasn't joking about keeping your butt on.
That hurts so bad. That thing got my butt so bad. Also, they have conveyor belts everywhere. Like, there were slide conveyor belts. There was a conveyor belt in the lazy river that you saw. I just thought it was so funny. All right. I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like a water park and slide person. I am. It's so fun. It's so much fun. We're finally into the food section, which was the hardest part for me because it was so expensive no matter where we went. We did try to go to a grocery store, which was right next to Atlantis. It's a very, very short walk. But what are we going to do? Make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and everything was still going to be pricey because there's still an additional tax added. We didn't really find anything that we liked. However, if you are in one of the more apartment-like places, this could be really cool because you can get some eggs, you can make yourself some breakfast, try to save on one of the meals. But for us, we didn't end up buying anything at all. This was our first meal out, and it started rocky because we said for weeks ahead of time, we're going to split meals, and then it comes time and we're both so hungry and neither of us can agree on a stupid meal. But we ended up splitting it. Anthony's was so reasonable. The prices are going to be way less than on Atlantis. The sandwiches were like $15, $16, but add 25% to everything. So your $15 sandwich, you're going to be almost $20. No matter what, add 25%. That's going to be your price. We did agree on splitting an appetizer and a main dish. So we got the riblets, which cost almost as much as the sandwich, and I thought for that price we should have each just gotten our own sandwich. That probably would have saved us some hassle of bickering back and forth about what to order. The riblets were good, but money-wise, nah, it's not really worth it. The portion sizes were so small. We got the pulled chicken sandwich that was barbecue chicken, and I thought the flavor of this chicken, there was something so special about it that I would love to have whatever sauce they used because I feel like they made their own. It was so, so good. So the theme of this food experience is going to be for two people, if you just go basic, budget 50 bucks a meal, and you'll probably be good. This one,
Want to see what I look like in your shirt?
he has to wear my tank top because he didn't bring any clothes to Shake Shack.
My buddy looks like
Stop it, you're gonna...
just get some food.
Stop being so sexy in my shirt. Who wore it better? Me or Kyle? Look at that. I can't, nothing is safe. He drank my caramel macchiato. He's wearing my clothes.
It's a very deep bean.
We got chicken, avocado, regular burger, fries, Coke, and it was $51. So we are our second meal, and I got one coffee, and we're already looking at 115 probably for food here. Oh, it's expensive, but it's tasty. The sandwiches hitting that spot. Oh no. Oh no. You're trying to Andre the Giant that thing. That's my shirt. We had seen another video where someone said that they ended up going to this Murray's Delicatessen every meal because it was so reasonable. We actually went twice because the sandwiches were gigantic. So the second time we split a sandwich, we got an extra side of fries, and it was still $30, but it was $50 the day before, so we at least did a little better, even just by a teeny tiny bit. They have a really nice mural in here too. It is really nice and open in the Delicatessen. Bimini Road was so packed that it almost felt a little uncomfortable, but. So here's the gluten-free sandwich. Oh my gosh, yeah. You think we could have split it? Look at his. Let me see. It's gigantic.
Could ask for one more piece of bread. I could have made 2 sandwiches.
We're gonna have so much food, holy crap. But it does look really good. We have a little bit of a sweet tooth. So we're at Plato's. They have a lot of desserts right now. It's like 10 o'clock. We are getting a chocolate chip cookie to split. This is our $8 cookie. It's so expensive. Even though we did sandwiches for the majority of the meals, we did try chopsticks because the menu looked awesome. That was the only sit-down restaurant we went to that did require reservations. I think they had walk-ins, but I definitely recommend getting a reservation at least a week before if you want to go to one of the fancier sit-down restaurants. They fill up, and you will probably not be able to get a reservation if you're trying the day of. We picked an appetizer and an entree to split. So we had the char siu bao buns, which were kind of a really nicely seasoned pork belly. And then they also had some cucumber. We got kung pao chicken. There was so much chicken, and it doesn't look like a lot on that plate, but once we got the rice and we got a side of rice, we each had a pretty full plate to split, and the food was absolutely delicious. Through the casino, you can go to the marina. You have this beautiful statue that everyone loves. It is very pretty. So the casino is that way. There's the crystal statue. To the marina. We did end up going to the Junkanoo Rushout, which was kind of a celebration parade. It was the last week that they were doing it. So we got to walk along the harborside area and then watch them play the live music and dance in their traditional outfits. Very, very cool. Highly recommend if you can get there to see that because that was free. That was something we didn't have to pay extra for. Even though some of the events do cost extra, there are plenty of things to do around Atlantis that are included. One thing being the dig, which we went through a couple times. There are tons of different fish to see, tons of little tanks that have different types of fish, massive fish, teeny tiny ones. Very, very cool. I'll show you all of that here. Oh, we're in Kyle's nightmare.
That ain't natural.
Look at all these. This reminds me of like underwater treasure hunting, and I love it. It's a very pretty setup. Like everything is very pretty. All the different areas. We're staring at this tank and Kyle's like, oh, you see those two groupers down there? And I was like, nah, I was just looking at the little guys. All these little guys up here being cute. Then, oh, there are these two gigantic fish. Oh my gosh, look at that little guy. What is going on with him?
It's not bad posture.
Like I said earlier, the Predator Lagoon, that is going to be right outside of the coral. Very, very cool. So like you saw all the fish and the smaller sharks at the dig, we're going to have bigger fish, bigger sharks at the Predator Lagoon. You definitely have to go walk through and try these out. They are really, really impressive. This one, he's stuck in the corner. Why do you think he's in the corner? Why do you think he's stuck in the corner?
He's on timeout.
Oh. Kyle said the shark is in timeout. I don't know what he did, but something naughty. Look at this one.
Oh wow, saw him.
He's big. Dang. The grouper. Oh my gosh, do you see it? Oh, that thing is gigantic. All right, have the stairs. Even the stairs have like little eels or snakes or whatever holding them up. So this is the overlook. You can walk through and you can see all the fish through the glass, or you can come to the overlook and the water is crystal clear minus some like weird nasty crap on top. But oh, here comes the sawfish. Look at how big he is. He's got to be what, 12 feet?
Boy.
12 feet long right there. Ooh, ooh, the top of his fin did get, ew. Ew, wonder what happened. Okay, and then on this side is swimming. So we're in that tower over there. That's us. So finally, we are going to snorkel. We snorkeled in 3 different places. The lagoon for us, which you see right here, which is outside of the Royal, hands down the best place that we found as far as the clarity of the water and the amount of fish that you could see. Go to the lagoon. It was the best. Predator Lagoon. We have been snorkeling in the lagoon maybe for only like 15 or 20 minutes, but our eyes are burning because Kyle buys cheap sunscreen. So we're gonna go try the next snorkel spot and see if there's anything else cool to see. We saw a lot of fish. There are conch shells everywhere, and I wonder if there are things living in them, because if you saw the MSC video I put out about Ocean Cave for 2 days, we did find a crab living in a conch shell. Maybe there are some here. I don't know. I didn't pick any up. We're leaving the lagoon. We're following the sign to Beach Market. So we're trying to get to Cove Beach and Paradise Beach. One of us is already ready to snorkel and won't take her snorkel off. One of us doesn't want to snorkel at all. Here is Cove Beach. So that is the cove. We're at Cove Beach. That is the cove. This is the beach. So you have to stay on this side of the rocks, so it goes straight across. You can't pass that. But we are going to snorkel around the rocks, and we're going to see if there's anything exciting. I see a fish already. All right, so far, Cove Beach is, there's a little bit more movement going on, so it's very hard to see anything. All right, here are the beach conditions. So strong surf, exercise, extreme caution. That's our flag for today, which is why there's not really good snorkeling. But maybe if it's just the yellow or there's no flag, then maybe there's good snorkeling. Cove Beach is there, and then if you just keep walking past the cove on the left, so if you just keep walking and go over the sand, that's where Paradise Beach is going to be. You can't go on the walking path because there's like a cove only guest. There's like a pool for cove only, so you have to kind of walk through the sand, which is not that big of a deal. It's all kind of connected. Here's Paradise Beach. So we are going to see if there's any good snorkeling over here. This is kind of fun. So there's a bunch of cairns or rock piles that people do these in the mountains so that you know which way to turn. All of these posts are different people. This is really pretty. This is really, really pretty. If you can make it out here, it is really cool. Well, we've always found the best snorkeling is by the rocks. So this is Paradise Beach, the rock area. Let's see what we can find. Well, the lagoon is number 1. The cove is number 2. Paradise Beach, number 3. I can't even see any fish. I can't see anything really under the water, but it's very cool to come and see all the rock formations and the memorials and the kind of people carved out of wood. Very cool. You definitely have to come see that. The water is beautiful. It is beautiful, but for this beach, it's more of a lounging beach, not really a snorkeling beach. Maybe if the water is super calm, you could try it. Outside of that, I would just lay around on the beach or play in the water, not worry about snorkeling. We're going to see how much it costs for 3 days in Atlantis. Looking at the travel logistics. So the Atlantis resort fee was $71.50 per day. That's what we paid to have the stay. Everything would have cost $1,206.66. We paid $214.50. So when you get the Caesars Diamond or the Caesars Perk, you're essentially getting the room for free and how much it would have cost per night, but you are paying for all the additional fees. The housekeeping gratuity, $14 per day. That was $42. We have the Southwest with Companion Pass. Like I said, going there, really reasonable. Coming back, really expensive. There are extra fees added on. We did Cheryl's taxi round trip from the airport, $104. Our total with points, $1,009.32. Total without points, $2,413.88. It's fine. It's a perk that we got that we wanted to take advantage of. We did it at least once. I had an awesome time. For the food, we could not get these costs under control no matter how hard we tried. Anthony's Barbecue, $45. Shake Shack, $51. Starbucks, $8. Murray's, we went twice. That was probably the best deal that we got the whole time with the quantity of food and the cost. We sprung for a couple cookies that were so expensive. And Starbucks again, chopsticks. Total with points, $324.35. Total without points, $353.07. We were at $300 for 3 days on Atlantis, which is not a lot. It is more than I wanted to spend. I wanted to cap it at $200, and then after the first meal, I knew that I was way off base and had to readjust my expectations. The entertainment. We spent $0 additional dollars on the entertainment, which was fine. We did everything that was included in staying at the resort. So we did the Dig, the Predator Lagoon, walked around, did the slides, did the lazy river. It was awesome with all of that. I would have really liked to have been able to do the escape room, but when I went to book, it was $150 minimum if you had less than 3 people. So we would have had to pay $75 per person for the escape room for an hour. No, we're not doing that. Then they had a magician. I was like, oh, how cool would it be to see him? $90 a ticket. So we opted not to do any additional things and just stick to what the resort included. I did feel like our days were packed. We had plenty to do and no complaints there. Our final total with points, with all the comps, with everything, $1,333.67. Without points or comps, it would have cost $2,766.95. It's not bad. We're looking at $450 maybe per day that it costs for us to fly, to eat, to stay. Really, honestly, probably reasonable. We just try to travel as cheap as possible. So paying 50% of what it would have cost outright, I'm trying to keep it at 25%. So this for me, I'm like, dang it, we missed the mark. We still tried and we still did the best we could given how expensive everything is on the resort. All right, what do you think? How'd we do? Did we save enough money? Did we get enough of a discount? Would you do the Caesars Diamond Perk now that you can see that it's a perk, not a true comp? When I say things are comped, I mean like outright comped. So I'm calling it a perk. I don't know. Have you done it? Did you have fun? I'm so curious. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned. I have some more Vegas videos. I am going to have some more cruise videos. The one thing I'm going to put together is how much we spent in 2025 on all of our trips versus how much it would have cost had we paid outright. It is a little bit crazy. So make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for that. You're going to want to see that video. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next trip.